This episode of Tekzilla is brought to you by The Ben Heck Show.
Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, themonstro.com. So it seems like we've been covering a lot of music sites lately, which is good because I am completely out of the loop and I need to know what is cool, people. I need to know what's cool. And today we are looking at themonstro.com.
First sign of aging, you know.
I'm like, please tell me what's cool. I don't know. Anyway, themonstro.com is a great way to see what's hot on all the social music sites all across the web. Here's how it works. When you go to themonstro.com, you'll see their three-paneled homepage. First, we have the Monstro Top 40 right here. Then we have the top 10 from various social sites like Rdio, Shazam, Hype Machine, YouTube, etc. And then finally, we've got the top artists. So clicking on any of these tracks will bring up a neat little pop-up that gives you more information about the track, like which sites that it's been charting on, who it's been shared by recently, and by whom. Clicking on the link to the band's page will actually bring you to a new portion of the website that gives you more information on the band, like what songs that people have been listening to from all the different social sites. One thing I did notice, it's pretty slow. I don't know if it's like live crawling all of the sites to pull the data, if it's like a weird API thing, but every time I've been clicking around, this is at home and also here in the studio, it's taken a really long time for all that data to like roll up.
Maybe there's that many people hitting the site all at once to try to
Maybe.
figure out what's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. But so you can see the different people on the site that have been sharing different songs from that artist. It seems like mostly it's that one song that Gautier has been playing nonstop. You get, bio information. This is all from their Twitter page too. You can see like their different tweets. And are you humming the song?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a pretty good song. It's okay.
It's so over.
So if we go back to the website, you can change which social sites you want it to pull the top 10 list from.
Cool.
So if you want to see what is hot on Rdio, which is my preferred music streaming site,
Come on, see
you
what's
can do
hot
that
on
pretty
YouTube.
quickly.
It'll be like 5 Justin Bieber songs and a Katy Perry song.
Yeah, it's very different actually. It's so, okay, we'll click on YouTube and see what happens. Like I said, it takes a little while for it to pull the data, which is kinda annoying. Especially if you're really want that new music. Oh, there's some good stuff.
The Fifth Dimensions.
Yeah, not quite as bad as one would expect. The one downside is that when you do click on an artist, you get that page, but I would love to see like an instant streaming feature built into this site instead of having to go through to the site that it found it from.
just like a little ticker on the side of your screen. It's like, oh, who's that?
Well, just I mean, so you can like, I would like a little flash player, a little like music player on this site specifically. So instead of having to click through to the site of origin, you can actually listen to it right here. But maybe it's some kind of licensing issue. Overall, though, it's a nice way to take the musical temperature of the internet at a glance. You can check it out today at themonstro.com.
We got this question from Dennis who wrote in, you recently covered Airtime. I'm hesitant to try the service. I cannot bring myself to sell out my friend's personal information. Airtime says it must, quote, access your friend's contact information, unquote. What does that mean? Am I giving them information that my friends think only their friends can see, or is it publicly available information? How am I to know? Dennis.
Okay, so I totally get your concern.
Absolutely.
Totally get it. And you're a good friend for looking out for the safety of your Facebook friends' contact info. So Airtime on their site says, how does Airtime use the extra Facebook permissions? This is on their FAQ. Friends' contact information. Airtime accesses which of your friends are online and available to video chat. Okay, so I don't think that's really saying much. So what I think is happening here is that it's a funny wording thing. I think it's a grammar issue.
Really?
If that makes any sense. And please correct me if I'm wrong. They're not accessing the info about your friends of friends. I think they're just getting the information about your immediate friends when they're online, when they're able to be contacted.
Bob is online. Would you like to Airtime with Bob?
Yeah, so I think when it says your friend's contact information, it's not your friends of the information about your friends of friends.
Right.
I think it's your friend's online availability.
It's so funny because one of the things they say is like, okay, Airtime can access, like if you do this and you give us access, then we will, post information on when you are talking on Airtime or something like that, or they reserve the right to do that.
Yeah, so that's part of the regular permissions. So Facebook has a permissions reference page that I think is actually pretty interesting that I hadn't looked through before. So you can see user and friends permissions, and then it lists the actual description of what all of those different permissions means. And then you can go down to the extended permissions, and that's like an extra step of permissions that third-party applications have to ask your permission for, which you can also turn off, which you can say, no, I don't give you permission to do that. But the first level of permissions, I think, for Airtime is just so they can see when your friends are online. I think that is the only thing they are going for. If someone out there is a Facebook developer for third-party applications and can weigh in a little bit more about what those are actually entitling them to do with your contact information, please let me know, because I'm not a Facebook developer, and this is the extent of the research that I could kind of parse. But it's
such a death by 1,000 cuts, because like Facebook's like, we're going to give you the ultimate control over every single element of your Facebook control pattern, and we're going to do it in a way that makes it so delete expletive impossible to understand. You'll never know whether or not your private information is private.
Their privacy stuff is still extremely convoluted, and it takes...
Intentionally, I think.
Intentionally,
because the more private information they have, the more successful they can be as a business.
I don't think Airtime is doing anything nefarious here. So, but if anyone out there knows something differently than that, let us know. Tekzilla at revision3.com. And we've got more of your emails still to come, but first, it's time to thank one of our sponsors.
Join modding wizard Ben Heck and friends as they build and modify a host of amazing, community-inspired creations. In the latest episode of The Ben Heck Show, Ben comes up with a great project just in time for Father's Day, a toilet illuminator. Don't know what that says about being a dad. And don't forget to go to element14.com/TBHS to find out how you can enter to win the latest builds from Ben's show. Be sure and watch this and every new episode of The Ben Heck Show every 2 weeks right here at revision3.com/TBHS.